What's up? So something that I never knew. John Travolta turned down the role of Manny in Scarface. Yeah, I never knew that. He would have been the right hand man to Al Pacino's Tony Montana. Now, a white suit, dark shirt, I don't think that Travolta could do that again after Saturday Night Fever. And he wasn't quite cut out for what Al Pacino was doing. But to be Manny, the right hand man, would that have worked? And interestingly enough, ironically, in Saturday Night Fever with the poster on the wall of Serpico, the girl on the floor who kissed him in the movie said Al Pacino. And he thought he bore a little resemblance to Al. And he did with the short kind of haircut styling he had. But could I have seen, now Stephen Bauer got the role as Manny, Manuel Ray. Could I have seen John Travolta as Manny? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to think. Could he have done it? Hmm. I mean, it looked like him. And actually, the vibe of him would have been like that. But I think Travolta's ego and where he was in his career wouldn't allow it. You gotta remember, he did do "Staying Alive," which was a hit. It was the fall to Saturday Night Fever, and "Blowout" and "Urban Cowboy." So he hadn't quite fallen off yet. That wasn't the comment after he did Perfect, and he had some other films he did, but that was the so he had to come. So he had turned down some other films, but as a sidekick in a role at the time when you could make the case, arguably he was bigger than Al Pacino at that time. You could say that about Travolta because he was on a roll. And could he have pulled that off? Would it have worked? It's kind of hard to imagine him playing sidekick to Al Pacino, because really, when he was in his peak, he wasn't sidekick to nobody. You think about it. I mean, he was that dude, you know. But again, a lot of his movies were more entertainment based. And again, he was one of those guys that for a while his box office clout was crazy. I mean, and then once we get to that, so Scarface came out in '83, and it was more of a, what we call an underground hit that blew up. I don't think John Travolta would have been actually going back into a situation where he had to play doing something on the underground because that's what made Scarface jump off. It wasn't blowed up at the box office. It wasn't like that. So, he was dealing with some heavy hits. So I don't know if that would have necessarily worked for him to doing that. But it's an interesting, you know, um, that's an interesting footnote. Know that he turned down the role of Manny, and actually, if he had not have been in the kind of elements that he was in, like when he did do, um, um, years later, I'm trying to put it in my mind when he did his movies, Pulp Fiction, for instance. He was the second in wheel to Samuel Jackson at that time. Believe it or not, they were equal, like kind of co-stars, but he was actually on the comeback trail. Cause I'm trying to think, cause Samuel Jackson, they were about neck and neck. But Travolta was more known because of his name. It wasn't like he had a big hit like that in recent memory. So this would have been a real interesting at this stage of his career when he was at that, still in that well, he still had clout. So because a few years later, then he became like hitless and he was washed for a minute. So anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think he could have played the role of Manny and Scarface? Did he do the right thing by turning it down? Or do you think, or would you like to have seen him? I thought Stephen Barr did a good job as Manny to Al Pacino's Tony Montana. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments. And I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm all one time. Peace.